Hello. I'm looking at another game here. It's 2010 now, so Magnus is getting 20 this time. So first tournament of the year. It's always we can see, and as we can see here, Magnus won it. I don't remember if this is the first time or that he won the A group here, but it won't be the last. He won. This is Magnus. He said it's his favorite tournament because Holland in January it's very windy, very cold, very rainy. So it's at the ocean there, but there is like nothing to do. Like there is only chess players and a chess tournament because it's quite a small tourist village that's like popular in the summer, but in the winter there is no one except the chess tournament. So Magnus always plays good, and I think he has won it maybe 10 times by now or so, and that's like few players has won it more than once, and he has won it like 10 times. It's just extremely good. And I was also thought that the pictures I get from the thumbnails, it's like AI created with chat GPT. So I ask, for example, now Magnus is 20, so I asked chat GPT and its image creator Dalle to create a picture, and this was the one that was chosen here. It's a cartoon of a young man resembling Magnus Carlsen as 20 years old. So like the chessboard here it's a nice picture, but of course the chessboard is kind of weird there. But sometimes with AI created pictures, like they're not so good at this chess stuff. But what I liked about this picture, it looks like he's playing like Alexandra Botes or some of the pretty women players in this picture. So that's why I kept it. I usually like re-roll them until I find someone good. But let's focus on the chess now. So Magnus won the tournament here, and he's a 2800 player. So of course he was the highest rated player in the world and the favorite to win it. But it wasn't so clear because he actually lost one game against Vladimir Kramnik. Kramnik has been his rival now at 2009-2010. Magnus and Kramnik, they have been about the same strength, I would say, now 2009-2010. Even if Anand is the current world champion, at least in tournament play, Kramnik and Carlsen has performed a bit better. But Anand, he has won the matches, so he's a good match player when he can prepare a long time. I think all of these guys, especially Anand and Kramnik, are very, very diligent and prepare very serious opening analysis, and that's like an advantage for match games in a world championship match where they have like many months to just prepare for one opponent. So I've chosen 3 games here that we're gonna look at first, and Magnus wins all 3. First game we're looking at, he's playing against Jan Smeets. It's a lower rated player from Holland, and then Wijk van Wely, also a lower rated player from Holland, and it's two very interesting games here. And then the last game is when Magnus is actually playing the French here against Karjakin. It's always fun to see Karjakin loses. He's been because he's a supporter of the Russia's special military operation in Ukraine, even if he was born in Ukraine, so it's a little bit weird. So always fun to see him lose a game here. But in this video we are starting with Carlsen against Smeets, and Smeets is maybe 5 years older than Magnus or so, but and I guess his rating is about 2600 maybe. It doesn't say here, but I guess Magnus is 28 and Smeets is 26, so it's Magnus is a clear favorite here. The reason I wanted to look at this game is because Smeets is playing this Botvinnik variation, and Botvinnik variation is one of those line that I think are the most fun to analyze, because it just get. I've shown several games already in this variation. I just think it's a very fun opening, very unique opening in chess. Unfortunately, now with strong computers, like after 2020 or so, with this Lila 0, Stockfish 16, Stockfish 17, these the computers are just too good. So these kind of sharp openings, the players don't dare to go into these lines. But here there is a few more years where the players plays sharp opening, and it would be fun to follow them. Nowadays it's always like very calm on theoretical openings, like the Italian game or the London system or so. So we have talked about this, that this is the main theory here, these moves. And here we have seen two games where black did, I think they did e takes d5, I think. Let's put on the computer here. It was either bishop d5 or e d5. I think it was e d5 that two players played. But Smeets, he plays an old move, knight b8, which I think is an old move by one of my first chess books. It's a book by Garry Kasparov, and he write about his games he played when he was a kid. And there is like a game where he plays like this, and also in the Shirov book Fire on Board he discusses like this position here. So this theory takes, and takes, and this invites to the queen sacrifice here that Smeets is going for. You can see here black has to play knight c6 here, and then white can do the queen sacrifice. That's very interesting. So as you can see here, no other move is good. White is winning by force for any other moves. So they play like this. And now Magnus played an interesting move that I never saw before, knight b6 check. So let's look at that. But the normal way they play is that they take here, takes, and two moves with the king. I think this one is considered the best, and it's very, very forced here. Bishop is threatened, so he has to go here, and that basically you can't move the rook because takes, and something like this, winning the queen, and the pawn checks. It's actually forced mate here, even. So only move is e5, and here is like, this is like the game starts here at move 23. Move 23, the game starts here, and here are several possibilities for white. For white here, as you can see, this is, so if you play this opening, you have to know at least this far, or you can, so the game starts at move 23, but it's an interesting position, strong pawns, and a bishop and a knight for a queen. Computer thinks it's excellent compensation. So, but Magnus, and this was already known back then, so it's strange. But the thing is that the computers were not as strong as they are today. So maybe Magnus had analyzed this with his computer. And I think already now, I think Magnus has started to work with Peter Nielsen of Denmark instead of Simon Agdenstein, and of course Peter Nielsen is famous for being good at opening analysis. He has he's a good laptop, and he's good at as doing what they call space barring. If you have the program ChessBase and press the space bars, then the computer recommended move goes forwards. He waits a little bit, press space bar, wait, press space bar, and then like draws conclusion. It's probably thought that this is a good try, but modern computers doesn't like this. As you can see, it gets a question mark here. So let's see what happens. It has to be taken by the pawn, as you can see. And then white is sacrificing the queen, but now black cannot take the queen because the rook was very important to defend here, because this, and then rook a8. And because of the white only have a pawn, like a strong pawn and a bishop, as he's already winning, because it can't move the bishop, then it takes here, rook d8 takes a new queen, and just nothing to do here really. So he has to take back the pawn. And now there are a few moves. Computer seem to like this one also. Then either king b7 or takes. So this looks like the computer likes this a bit for black. Black's king is fairly safe, hard for white to get an attack, and the material is equal, but black's pawns are more forward than white. So in a case of if it becomes an endgame, black has some chances to win because passed pawns which can be supported by the king. So if black managed to trade queens, he can look forward to a good endgame here. So, but Magnus didn't play that, he took on c6 instead. He has to take back, of course. And then he put the queen here, so it's almost the same position as before. And now he should have done this move again, like the computer says. And the only difference was that white didn't play this f3 now, he's kept the king on g1, and maybe that's better. Maybe it's better to have the king on g1 than this f3 setup. Okay, so the computer didn't like bishop c5. Of course you cannot take this pawn because of this. And they see that, of course, so he played rook a7. Like white's plan here would of course be to do something like this and try to create an attack against black's king. And I'm sure the reason why the computer wanted this is just to avoid this invasion here. And then if white would try to do the same, you could maybe even try to trade, even if the computer doesn't like it. There was some ways. Now black tries to trade like this. So okay, so this was also fine because he could trade like this. And Magnus starts walking with a pawn. Yeah, it's hard for white to see any other, like now when one rook got traded, it's hard to see that white could generate some kind of attack here. So he tries to walk with the pawn instead. And black is playing some random moves here instead of trying for c3 or something like that. I'm not really sure, but the computer still thinks black is doing fine. Okay, so his plan is to do like this and attack b2 like this. So we are looking forward to a very, very sharp game here. It's doing b3, also c3 was. This also looks quite good for black. These pawns are a little bit more dangerous than this one, but it would have been an interesting game. And now maybe white has some play here. Yeah, this central bishop is just a monster, so it's correct strategy to try to trade that one. here, yeah, apparently he made a mistake. Lots of moves here is fine for black. Something like this. Now it's threatening mate here. And drawing checks for white. So this was one way for black to get the draw here. By playing c3 and then trade the queens and take here and go for the mate here by and forcing white to do perpetual checks. Okay, so he played this. As you can see, there was also many other moves like queen, like this was just inaccurate, and I guess it's because he's been pinned here. Like, you never want to put yourself in a pin like that voluntary. And already here you can see only move that doesn't lose is king b5 now. So let's see if he did that one. It's kind of logical to try to get a new queen here, but black apparently can counter with this. So this is very, very sharp. Yeah, sharp stuff here, but apparently here black has enough play. So let's see why b5 loses here. Not completely obvious to me why this is losing, but okay, white gets in the attack here. And now Magnus makes a blunder here. He was winning by this retreat, rook d1. Black cannot take because it's mate, and if you take here, then it's also mate like this. Okay, c3. Okay, takes b2. I guess this one is not dangerous, so he's just gonna win this some way. Yeah, for example, trading here, and he can get too many passes, and this is not that dangerous now. Okay, but it wasn't so obvious that he had to retreat, but it's logical that you should retreat because you almost always want the rooks on the first rank. It's like people are often tempting to do rook lifts, like going for the rover, like rook a3 and put it into g3, but rooks are almost always best on the first rank, so it's logical to move back. But he played here instead. And that apparently gave black the chance to save the game by going here. I guess it's because it didn't give white any chance to do some checks or so. Also, obviously white wants to pin the queen here. So if he did that, what about here then? Okay, so this is drawing checks. If you take here, black gets counterplay here on h1. Yeah, I can believe that that's good enough. Okay, so let's see why is this losing, this queen b2. So it's because of this here, and I guess there is some mate here. Yeah, I can't block because of this, of course. Yeah, I can't do that, that loses the queen. Okay, and this mates by force. Okay, so yeah, I guess there might have been some time trouble here, but it was, yeah, I like this opening. It's just a fun opening, and it's hard for someone like John Smeets to play against Magnus when it gets tactical. So yeah, okay, see you next video.